name is Mary and I go by the Healing Cave Lady. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for watching. Today I am talking about health roadblocks for people who are trying to heal a Whole30 diet, or they're doing some type of fast or reset and they're hitting these roadblocks and wondering why they're having issues. And I wanted to share some little tips with you guys. I just want to start in knowing roadblocks for health. Keep watching. This list, this is actually the second time I've filmed this video because I found some extra roadblocks. I really kind of encourage like a Whole30 type of diet minus the potatoes, and then make sure everything is well cooked. So that's kind of my healing protocol. You're eating paleo lifestyle diet, potatoes and the starches, and everything is well cooked. So not lots of salads and things that are raw that are very hard for you to break down. So here are the roadblocks that you might be falling into, that you might be having issues with. And I always say maybe test moving some of these things out of your diet and see if they're causing the problems. So the first one is nightshades. So if you don't know what a nightshade is, it's peppers, eggplants, tomatoes. They have a naturally occurring toxin in them that cause a lot of people acid reflux, sour stomach, and all kinds of issues. I can't even eat spaghetti sauce anymore. So if I ever see recipes with marinara or anything with tomato paste, usually I avoid them because they're too high. Sometimes I can handle some raw tomatoes chopped up in like a salsa or some hot sauce, very small amounts. But if you're gonna do a full-on ragu, I can't handle it, and a lot of my clients can't, and it causes issues. So that's what I said, nightshades. That is tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers, and it's every kind of pepper. It's like bell peppers, it's chili powder, it's all of that stuff. It encompasses that. So many people will remove it from their diet for a while, and they'll be able to add it back in when their stomach is in a better place. So don't think it's like, nothing is usually ever a death sentence, like you're never gonna be able to have it again. But in the healing process, it's important to remove excess toxins because your toxic burden is probably high and you need to get some of those toxins out of your body so that you're not spilling over and having symptoms. So nightshades. The next thing is dehydrated foods. So there's all kinds of sprouted crackers, there's dehydrated fruit, there's dehydrated jerky, all of those things. Once the water is removed, it's very, very hard to digest those foods. So keeping those out of your diet when you're in a healing protocol is a really good, really important thing to do. So the next thing is raw veggies. Raw veggies, the cell walls of raw veggies are very, very hard to break down, and I would suggest moving them completely. Even salads, lettuce, almost everybody I test is allergic to lettuce. Okay, so raw veggies, super hard to break down, even if you take a digestive enzyme. Want to leave those out completely for a period of time in the healing process. Next, eating late. So eating late anytime, 2 hours before bed, you want to make sure all of your food is digested before you go to bed so you can sleep and you're in a healing state. Neurotransmitters, create hormones, and do everything in a detoxing way that it's supposed to do when you're sleeping, and not be digesting, because it's really not a digestive state. Sleep isn't. So a lot of times those foods are going to rot and ferment and feed everything evil in the gut, and you don't want to do that. So you want to make sure you're done eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. So for most people, not eating past 7:15, 7:30 is a very good idea, especially sugar. Sugar will most likely turn into fat if you eat it in the evening. Eating large meals for dinner is a very, very bad idea, just because you want everything to be digested and you don't want to overload your digestive system, and it's really sluggish in the evening in general. Early lunchtime is when you're kind of like at your best bet. So having a large lunch is much, much better than having a large dinner. A lot of people don't eat all day long and they eat a huge dinner. And it's like, how am I bloated and having all these issues and gaining weight when I'm barely eating anything, and then I just eat a huge dinner and that's it? Eat fish or seafood or something light that's easy to digest in the evening time, and that is super helpful for them in a healing process. Drinking a lot of beverages or water with meals. So water actually thins out your gastric juices and your stomach acid. So water will dilute your stomach acid so your body can't break down the foods, and then they end up rotting in the gut again, causing gas, bloating, all kinds of issues, undigested food down the intestinal tract where it's not supposed to be, feeding all kinds of bacteria, yeasts, pathogens, that kind of stuff. You don't want that to happen. So don't drink a lot of water with your meals. Drink water in between meals. That's why I always suggest drinking 40 ounces of water in the evening and drinking 40 ounces of water in the morning, and then waiting half an hour before breakfast, and then drinking water in between meals throughout the day. So getting your amount of water in. not drinking enough water. So if you're not hydrated, your body needs about 3 quarts of water a day just for maintenance, just for the organs, just for its normal cleansing. And then you need to drink some on top of that so it can clear out toxins and do other things. So if you have any kind of joint issues, rheumatoid arthritis, any kind of inflammatory issues, if you are not drinking water, your body is going to be recycling dirty water, and it's going to be recycling toxins through your joints, your organs, and anywhere you have inflammation is going to be even more inflamed. So it's very, very important to drink water. I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but you really have to make it a lifestyle habit. In one of my last videos, all about water and how you can take 2 40-ounce bottles of water to bed and really change your life with water drinking. And a lot of my clients are doing this now, and it's become a habit, and now it's easy and they don't have to think about it, and they don't feel drowning like they're drowning every day. So drinking enough water. Cheating with or things that are kind of outside the realm of healing, very, very small cheat, really trip up your healing. So if you're going to cheat with something that's kind of like a Whole30 approved, or an almond flour cookie or something like that. Don't go and get a donut or all of those bad bugs that you've been working so hard in getting out of your body. I can't stress this enough. So cheats, they're just something that tastes good and might be sweetened with dates or coconut sugar or something with a short chain sugar. Is nuts, seeds, and nut types of bars. Most of the nuts in those bars are not sprouted, and they're re-dehydrated, so they're kind of like formed, and then they put like this rice syrup on them, and then they're re-dehydrated, and they are just a gut bomb waiting to happen. Even if they're sprouted and you're adding nuts and seeds and things like that, most of the time they end up passing through, and anything that passes through you is going to get dragged through your lower intestinal tract, reaping havoc, dragging bacteria. So nuts, seeds, anything, even if it's sprouted, those little dehydrated crackers and things like that, things that are like crunchy like that, are gonna cause problems. So leaving those out of your diet while you're healing is a really, really good idea. So as I love macadamia nuts, they're amazing. Causes major issues. Even if you chew them into like a butter, it causes major constipation issues. So if you're ever gonna eat macadamia nut, in the later end of the healing process, eat no more than like 3 at a time, because you are gonna have issues. I'm telling you, I like good amount of my clients come back to me like, macadamia nuts. I'm like, I know, don't eat them. Hidden sugars and condiments is really huge, because a lot of people will be doing a healing diet, and then, you know, maybe they're having some organic ketchup, or they're having something with agave in it. Really look to make sure there's no weird sweeteners in your condiments. Make sure they're Whole30 approved. I did a video on how to stock your pantry and approved sauces and things like that. You just want to make sure there's no hidden sugars or, you know, gluten and things like that in your sauces. Not eating enough calories. I tell my clients to try to bulk the beginning of their day. I say try to get at least 1,000 calories in by 3 p.m. You want to be able to fuel your body. You want to be able to heal yourself, get all those gut healing amino acids in earlier during the day when it's easier for them to be digested, and not bulking all your calories at dinner. So you also don't want to go into starvation mode where your body starts storing fat because it's not getting enough calories during the day. So the best way to do that is to eat them before 3 p.m. So get really good meals in before 3 p.m. and avoid, you know, stockpiling and waiting until evening when it's like the worst time to eat. Eating fruit with meals is often an issue. Fruit uses different digestion components when being broken down. So if you eat fruit with meat, especially apples, pineapple, things like that with meat, then what happens is your body kind of chooses one, and it usually chooses the protein. So the fruit gets left behind to ferment and feed yeast, candida, strep, things like that that you do not want happen. It causes bloating. Want to separate. So eat fruit away from meat. If I'm ever having dinner and I'm gonna have dessert, I always eat my dinner, kind of eat slow, and then take a break for a while. And if my dessert has anything to do with like berries or fruit, I kind of wait before I delve into the fruit category. But definitely, you know, the fruit salads and things like that where you're adding fruit to meat and stuff like that, I try to avoid that as much as possible. So not removing all grains from your diet, leaving a small amount of grains behind when you're trying to be keto or Whole30 or being on a healing protocol where you're trying to starve out yeast. If you're adding a small amount of grains, even if it's like, you know, a 1/4 cup of rice or something like that, because it is a long chain sugar, when it breaks down to glucose, it's going to feed all of those things that you're really trying to heal, and it can really, really trip you up in a big way. So even if you're just eating a small amount of rice on your Chipotle bowl, even adding a very small amount of rice can really, really trip you up, or any kind of grain, corn chips, you know, snacking on a couple chips can really mess you up. So making sure you have your grains completely cut out is very, very important in the healing process. Kombucha. I used to think it was like a health drink, and now it's a monster. Anything that has to do with yeast, so nutritional yeast, kombucha, yeast that's added to products for flavoring, seasonings, things like that. Yeast, I mean, think about yeast in general. It's kind of a beach.
It's kind of a beast. It's actually kind of an asshole. I kind of hate yeast.
I've always had issues with candida, and many doctors and natural doctors will tell you to treat yeast with yeast, but it's a bad idea. Let me just tell you. All my clients that I remove, take kombucha out of their diet, are so happy, even though they love kombucha because it's probably fermenting and causing some alcohol in their gut, making them happy. But removing kombucha has been so helpful in most of my clients and myself. So I say remove everything that has to do with yeast, you know, except for a little balsamic here and there. But I would take yeast as much out of your diet as possible. Very, very good idea. So bullet points when it comes to the things that you need to remove in the healing process. I hope that helped you out. Some of them you probably knew, some of them maybe new takeaways, but I just kind of wanted to remind you and have them all in one video so that you can reference it and just remind yourself, oh, could be what's tripping me up. Video, comment below. Actually, I'll go through and it will help me pick out new content for other videos. So comment on the videos you would like to see. That's like the best thing ever. And you can always say hi and stuff like that. But I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.